In previous lesson, we have created a small project using Graph Editor. And now you have good idea how to manipulate animation using Graph Editor by pulling handles. So in this lesson, we will look on a smart way to apply interpolation quickly. Here I have created a small animation. Now rather than applying interpolation in regular way, we are going to use keyframe velocity. Here incoming velocity is 0 on this keyframe because object is starting to move from this keyframe. So it has only outgoing velocity, which is pretty high. And it has also an influence value which decides to which extent the velocity will affect the object's motion. So if we down this velocity, say 500, but we don't change the value of influence. By doing this, you will not feel any change in animation. It will remain same, even the gap between the points on motion path will remain constant. And this is because influence value is very low. So if we increase it, say up to 80%, points will get close to each other at the start point and animation will become slow. Now let's do the same thing for the last keyframe. And here it has no outgoing velocity because object is not moving further. So again, let's down the velocity to 500 and increase influence to 80%. Let's preview it. Now interpolation has been added to our keyframes. And if you open Graph Editor, you will find the graph exactly same as you will manipulate it using handles. Go back to keyframe mode. You can change keyframe velocity anytime you want. It will change the animation. In order to keep animation speed same on both keyframes, you have to use same values on both keyframes. Now play it. Nice. Let's see what will happen if we have more than 2 keyframes. So remove all these keyframes first and add a new keyframe again. Go to 15th frame and move it. Go to 1 second and change its position again. Alright, let's add keyframe velocity on the first one. So open it, and as previous, it has only outgoing velocity. Let's decrease it to 1000 and increase influence to 70%. Select middle keyframe, open keyframe velocity, and you will see both incoming and outgoing velocity on it, because this keyframe is first receiving the object and then sending it further. Let's decrease incoming velocity to 1000 and increase influence to 70%. Do the same for outgoing velocity. Once again repeat the same process for the last keyframe. I think I should decrease velocity a bit more to see the difference. So let's decrease all velocities to 500. Play it once again. Now you will feel the change. If we open Graph Editor, you have not to adjust handles to get same animation on each keyframe. We have done it by changing values. The only thing we feel odd is that both graphs' height is not same. This is because this keyframe is not exactly in the middle. There is some difference in the distance on both sides. So if you want it to be exactly in the center, you can measure it by using ruler, or you can also open title or save action areas, or you can try to do it manually. So by using keyframe velocity, you can apply interpolation exactly same on each keyframe. But really, in regular working process, we don't use this way. We always use Graph Editor. It doesn't mean that it's wrong way, but it's time consuming. By using Graph, it will be easy to adjust handles and preview it over time. But in last, it's completely up to you. In next lesson, we will learn about spatial interpolation.